Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with your friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. We're joined by Saffron Tiger. Welcome, Saffron.
Namaskar, Meena ji, and namaskar to all our viewers. I hope you all are doing well, and I'm
Yeah,
excited to speak to you today
yeah.
after
We missed
quite.
you last week, yes.
Yeah, I missed you as well, but life gets in the way, and I'm happy
Yeah,
that we have connected together finally.
yeah. And I think I can hear also your baby babbling over there behind.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on double duty nowadays, so yeah, juggling between
Yeah,
different duties.
yeah. Okay, so let's start with the first piece of news, which is Salman Khan was nearly killed by a sharpshooter sent by Lawrence Bishnoi. An attempt was made to kill him by a sharpshooter sent by gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The details where the star was saved by a whisker were shared in a report by Times Network, that which Saffron we don't trust Times Network. The report further states that during the investigation of Sidhu Musewala's murder case, officials came across that sharpshooter almost killed Salman Khan outside his residence, but the actor got saved by a whisker. Now, as per the report, he's one of the suspects in the Sidhu Musewala gruesome murder case. And the sharpshooter was reportedly planted outside the actor's residence, who tried to assassinate him but backed out at the last moment as they feared being caught by the police personnel. An escort of Mumbai police was at his residence that day and was enraged, was engaged with the actor as he had to attend a public function, following which the sharpshooter and his associates decided to back out. Earlier on Thursday, in a major breakthrough, Mumbai police claimed that three members of the Bishnoi gang delivered a letter threatening him, Salman Khan, and his father, Salim Khan. Mahakal, alias Siddish, alias Saurabh Kambal, an alleged member of the Bishnoi gang, which is also suspected to be involved in the singer Sidhu Moosewala's murder case, made this revelation during the interrogation. Now, here, this is something that I don't, you know, sort of believe, Saffron, because they say that they found the letter in a place where he jogs. And in this age where nobody writes letters, even lovers don't write letters because they don't have time. It's either through WhatsApp or whatever, you know. So it's so mysterious that where he was jogging only, he found that this thing. And then here they say, Time says they shot, but missed by a whisker. And then the next line is that they backed out. So they didn't shoot. So what is the truth? And when it comes from Times of India, nothing is the truth.
Ma'am, these kind of shenanigans have been done even in the SSR campaign. I remember once, I think when I used to work with Vibhor, he said that there was someone who had taken a supari or a contract and he was coming from Dubai to kill him. So now we have come to the days where like people like Salman Khan are also making such what I would say rather ludicrous statements, or his PR team. Uh, maybe there might be a case that Lawrence Bishnoi and Salman Khan, there's no love lost between them, and we have read news about this. But such a pathetic attempt to gain sympathy,
Yeah,
or now people of his stature, clearly, with him and the other Khan clan being part of the cabal. But you can clearly see that now their films are not doing well. Business has gone totally down, so now they are grappling for straws. They are going above and beyond to, or to any limits, to create sympathy for themselves, to whitewash their images. One day, one of our supporters, an SSRian, he called me up and he was saying that he can't even believe the fact that the way the Khan brothers are like walking around, and Arbaz Khan, given that his name is so seriously being discussed in regard to Disha's case. But these shameless creatures, they just walk around like nothing has happened. So I think all of this just gives should give us an idea that, like, they control all these PR channels. And rightly said, be when something comes from, the news, an article comes from the newspaper that you have mentioned about, the media that you have mentioned about, we should just shy away from all these things, and, like, should not believe these things. This is all just cheap media stunt that is being done. The other day I was like also uh, I read that, like, Kangna is now backing Nupur Sharma. So all these things are happening. Uh, she's To me, she's an opportunist. Wherever she thinks that, like, she can garner some attention, she does that. And I think this cheap media stunt by Salman Khan is no different than what other people in the Bollywood cabal have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, see, there's another very strange thing happening. Uh, sources in the Narcotics Control Bureau allege that Samir Wankle, the NCB's former Mumbai zonal director, is being hounded by influential people for being upright and honest while performing his service as an investigator. After Aryan Khan's arrest, a teary eyed Shah Rukh Khan told NCB, "We've been painted as big criminals, monsters." The NCB sources claim Wankade is being singled out for harassment given the high profile personalities he has arrested or took action against for violating laws. Wankade was transferred to Chennai soon after the NCB's clean chit to Aryan Khan, Shah Rukh Khan's son. Now, as we all know, Aryan Khan was arrested on the night of October 2nd for allegedly possessing drugs and spent almost a month in Mumbai's Arthur jail till he was granted bail. The arresting authority, the investigating officer, then after comes the superintendent. After the superintendent comes the zonal director, Wankre. The zonal director's role is that of a supervisory officer, and after that comes the DDG, which is the Deputy Director General NCB, whose role is also supervisory in nature. And one after and after that there is the DG, which is the Director General NCB, who is also a supervisory officer, explains one NCB source. It is not mandatory for the zonal director to go on the field, but Wankre always leads from the front. For his team spirit and to motivate and encourage them in a high profile case, he went along to arrest whoever was found guilty of consuming drugs or in possession of drugs. Was the decision to arrest Aryan Khan taken by the zonal director? The NCB source asks. We beg to differ. Wankare, went after anybody who broke the law, irrespective of a person being high profile or low profile, said the NCB source, pointing out that Wankare, a month before Aryan Khan's arrest, was awarded the Union Home Minister's Medal for investigation, excellence in investigation. And the same guy, by arresting some high profile people, becomes a shoddy investigator, explains the NCB source. Was the decision to arrest Aryan Khan under the NDPS Act just the job of a zonal director? The decision to arrest him was a consensual decision, not a one man command that was followed without following the due procedure of arrest under the NDPS Act. It was a consensual decision, including the opinion of the public prosecutor, but the media dubbed it as a one man's agenda. So, very clearly, this shows how innocent Samir Wankade was and how he has been, through this witch hunt, made to look guilty and ashamed of himself. And the man who was caught with drugs is also tied up with an international drug, what you call nexus. And they don't want to accept it because now Shah Rukh Khan and his son cannot face public.
Uh, Shah Rukh Khan being clearly irked about this fact that, like, his family has been, like, blamed in public, and they have been uh, put on this guilt trip. I can see why he's saying that, because I think Samir Wankhede and the NCB office on that particular episode, they have struck his nerve. And with, like, Aryan growing up, and he must have thought to launch him in his productions and launch him as a actor of king, like son of King Khan, and all that larger than life image which he has been known to portray. It's not a good start for his son. So I feel that, like, given the kind of evil connections these guys have and the kind of evil deeds they are involved in, at least he could have been a better parent and ensured that his son is away from all these things, so that they can get a clean they can start on a clean slate. But that's not the case here. And regarding all these blames on Samir Wankhede is concerned, I think it also has to do with the way we unitedly supported Samir Wankhede on social media platforms, on YouTube, Twitter, and other some, uh, I think, small media channels as well, like portrayed the way he was conducting all that investigation. I'm sure he was not acting alone. There was a team, and there were, like, officials under whose guidance he was doing all these things. If Samir Wankhede's name would not have been taken in this whole episode, I think Shah Rukh Khan would have named NCB or some other officer who was portrayed in limelight. Incidentally, it was Samir Wankhede, an honest, upright officer who was doing his job. And like, I think he has also been through a lot of his family is going through a lot, the way they have been harassed by powerful ministers of the government which is in power currently in Maharashtra. I think it is amazing to see the courage and the grit by which Samir Wankhede is conducting himself, and I urge all of the viewers to, like, continue to support him. As far as Shah Rukh Khan is concerned, I don't think Samir Wankhede ji might be worried about it. I think he has seen a lot of criminals, like hardcore criminals, in his life and dealt with them valiantly. So I think this should be just a passing phase for Samir Wankhede ji.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you will, I don't know whether you know, there was this South Indian actress Nayantara's wedding yesterday, and Shah Rukh Khan was there at the wedding, and many of the people, sort of made fun of him, saying that he was looking very old and tired. Now, none of the fans like that. So they said that of course he's growing old, so he will look old, But till now you were saying that he's a hero, How come he's suddenly looking old?
Yeah, yes, if he started looking old, at least he should have the sense that even if he is coming on screen, he should be doing age appropriate roles where he is father of the heroine, not the ones, like, where like 55, 60-year old people are like coming on screen with 18, 19, 20-year old girls who are old enough to be age of his, like, daughter's age. So I think hardcore fans, brainwashed fans, there is no dearth of brainwashed fans in India, or even all over the world for that matter. So they are going to continue to say. We have seen there are so many bot accounts, right? Every time you say something, you expose any truth about these people from the cabal, I'm sure you may have been attacked on Twitter for saying the things that you say. Like, even though you are backing it with proof, people will call out names and will target you and your families. So I think I think we understand, we are mature enough that this is part of the game. But this should not stop us from calling out these people, because that's what they are scared of. That's what brings wrinkles on their faces. That's what increases their blood pressure, because media is a powerful asset. Initially, there was only, like, powerful media or channels which were controlling the narrative, but now that's not the case anymore. Even powerful channels, media channels, are being questioned by people like ourselves, who are, like, watching this show, and other people who are part of the campaign, and any justice seeker for that matter. So I feel that all of this is definitely taking a toll on the Khan family. And I hope that justice is served. Although, that being said, I feel that, like, the family is still very powerful to twist and turn things to their advantage. And we also know the place where they are staying, the place where they are living. The government is corrupt, is highly corrupt, and leave no stone unturned to ensure that their best interests are prevailed.
Nisha is saying Samir Wankhede is still doing seva for our country, cleaning up the plastic litter, etc., from the shores of Mithi River, along with students and volunteers. He's such an inspiration.
Absolutely, Nisha ji. Yes, he is. And I mean, it takes a lot of courage to say the things that he has said in public. He
Yeah,
has even said, I remember one of the videos that I saw where he said that like he doesn't give a damn even if he dies serving for the nation, and that's
yeah,
a big thing to say.
yeah,
Lot of people in his capacity would have chickened out, would have stayed mum for the safety of their family,
yeah,
but here is a hero. And for me, I'm seeing such from such close quarters after a long time, and couldn't be more proud of him.
yeah. In fact, Karthik is saying that SRK was also trolled for traveling when he was COVID positive.
Sometimes I really think that do they are these news do these news, does this news that comes out in the open, is it like all PR stunt, or are these really, like, is there any grain of truth
Yeah,
behind it?
yeah, yeah,
Well, I would like to give a benefit of doubt, but because nowadays, there are no lockdowns and people are
yeah,
going out and everybody has gotten
yeah.
used to COVID. But the way that you said that, in that actress's wedding, I didn't know. I knew the name of
Yeah,
that actress.
yeah. In fact, a little bit more on that, Saffron. See, the newlywed couple, Nayantara and her husband, Vignesh Shivan, who's the director, unwittingly stirred a controversy during their visit to Tirumalai temple on Friday. The couple who got married on Thursday were at the hill temple to take part in the Kalyonotsavam of Lord Venkateshwara. A controversy erupted when Nayantara was found walking along the Mada streets with her footwear on. A video footage of her walking in the vicinity of the main temple and posing for enthusiastic shutterbugs who mobbed the couple soon went viral on various social media platforms, forcing the TTD authorities to give an explanation. Critics, including political leaders, alleged that the incident had hurt the sentiments of the devotees and demanded that the TTD initiate stringent action against her for flouting the temple norms. According to the norms, walking in the Mada streets with footwear on is strictly prohibited. The TTD has also erected display boards at vantage points highlighting the stipulation in different languages. This, besides, the TTD, through its vast broadcasting network, also makes periodical appeals to the devout to strictly adhere to the stipulation and protect the sanctity of the town. When the media asked for his reaction, TTD Vigilance Guard Officer Bali Reddy said that he would take up the issue to the notice of the higher ups and proceed legally. In fact, here, what I want to say is, Safi, even when I went to the temple, I remember it was afternoon, and the stones were, red hot, So I was just worried whether I could walk barefoot, because the stones are so hot. And then what I said was, no, and now I leave it to God, So if if I suffer, I have to suffer. And you will be surprised the way we were taken through the shade, and then to in front of the deity, and we got time to pray in front of him, and then we went off. So see, these are all things that we have to obey. Just because she is Nayantara and she's a big actress doesn't mean that she can use footwear where you're not supposed to. See, so these things hurt people. And look at the way these people do things. Even see now, going back to the fact that if he had COVID, he had no business to be there because he would be infecting another 100 people.
Absolutely, and being in the position of public that, that he is, this kind of stature that he has. Unfortunately, we know about his truth, but masses are still brainwashed into following him, into liking his movies and things like that, and being crazy about him. I think he should have better. He should have better, behaved in the capacity when he was infected with COVID, and made sure that, he was not uh, being part of the hub that spreads the COVID. And as far as Nayantara and all these bigwigs are concerned, who think that they have laws in their pocket, they are not. They are free not to visit a temple if they don't want to,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, take out their footwear or not
Mm,
to
mm.
respect the protocols of the temple. But this is a way, this chalta hai attitude that we see predominantly in our country, not only limited to people from the showbiz industry, but also some corrupt people from bureaucracy and the government. They act as if, the red light on their ambassador can make them break laws, and they can get away with it. But I think slowly people are, voice of common man is getting stronger over the years with access to social media and people being responsive to all that injustice happening around you. So I think such incidents should be called out. There are few channels who have been doing that stuff, and then people like yourself who are talking about it. I think it has a great impact on spreading awareness and also imparting those ethics that you have to call out when you see injustice happening. You have to call out, name and shame them,
Yeah.
call them out. That's the way to go.
In fact, Saffron, in a lot of the South Indian homes, you will notice that, see, you can't wear slippers. You have to put it outside and then only you enter the house because they say that whatever dirt, you bring from the streets is not for inside the house. So that's a very, it's not only in India, many places, I think in Thailand and Malaysia and all that, also they follow the same routine. Now, here I want to tell you something, uh, Saffron. See, media like India today are the biggest troublemakers. You know, so I was just watching, Rahul Kanwal speak about, how Samir Wankhede should be punished, and who the panel consisted of. The panel consists of Satish, what's his name, Manshinde, Satish Manishinde, and also two people from India Today, and then we had this lady from BJP who hardly supports. So there's no point in having her as well. The designer in Mumbai, I forget her name. And Shazia. Shazia? No, not Shazia. Another lady. Okay. So what they were saying is that, see, Aryan has suffered a lot and he was not guilty. He never had any drugs with him. Why did he have to suffer? His reputation has gone to the dogs. And Samir Wankhede should, the things pay for it. And in between all this, Satish Manshinde says, you see how Ria suffered for just being the girlfriend of a drug addict? Casually. Just because she used to give drugs to, he was a drug addict. SSR was a drug addict. Can you imagine? I mean, and the journalist in Rahul Kanwal doesn't even ask him, was he a drug addict? Or were they drugging him?
I would say that, like,
Absolutely shame.
the reality of Rahul Kaval has been exposed by Samit Thakkar in the very pinned tweet on his Twitter account, in a very interesting story, very inspiring rather. I would request people to go on Samit Thakkar's Twitter account and read that. Although that being said, I would still say that, like, I don't agree with anything, like with some of the points that that guy posts on Twitter. As far as these people are concerned, particularly the lawyer in question, I think we should, most of the people know what kind of character he possesses, the kind of people he has supported, not only now, but even back then when a famous actor was having TADA, was booked under TADA. And this was the guy, in conjunction with support from Balasaheb Thackeray, then he fought the case. And now he was fighting the case for Ria. He is a very expensive lawyer. How did Ria's family afford such a lawyer?
Yeah.
Where did the money come from?
Mm.
Was the government behind it? Government
So
using
here you
taxpayers'
name it
money?
very clearly. Name it, Saffron. Very clearly, Salman Khan. Salman Khan and his friends.
I would say that I wouldn't be surprised even if MVA was behind the funding.
Yeah. Mm.
It's a big cabal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And taxpayers' money is being used by these people to do all these drug-related activities, extortion activities,
Yeah.
to all these murders.
Mm.
And when you question, even the agencies are, like, tight-lipped. And yes, I just read a comment when we are discussing about all these things. Somebody by name of Nishant Shetty was saying that, like, he feels that justice won't be served and he's very frustrated about it. And I feel the same. We all are, like, very frustrated about the delay that has been happening. But one thing that does not surprise me is that, uh, I had not expected it to be any different. I was always under the understanding that this thing is going to take long time. When I realized that other people who have been fighting for justice, they have been having like over a decade now, or almost approaching a decade, and they haven't still gotten justice. So in this case also, it won't be any different. But yes, one thing which makes a lot of difference is uh, when you wear your opinions on your sleeves and talk about it on public platform without worrying about what people will think and how they will react, even if it means you are questioning the family of the victim who got murdered. That's when I think people are kind of like, they are aware about you, and they try not to get in your way, because they know that these are the people who are going to say the truth. These are the people who are not going to take sides just because it serves their interest. So I think we should continue to do that, regardless of whosoever is doing wrong. It is im- it is extremely important to talk about them, because that's what keeps people like SRK and all these people from the cabal at bay. That's what ensures that their movies are like getting boycotted. And now they are in such desperate situation that even for small films they go to Tollywood, Mollywood, or Collywood. Each film I'm seeing, like, I'm like, I don't see the films, but when I come across any poster online on YouTube, I see that the film is released in 4 or 5 languages. This was not never the case, like, until before SSR's murder. I never saw
Yeah.
this thing. There is a huge paradigm shift in the Bollywood cabal, where mutual backfondling and mutual backpatting has become the norm.
Yeah.
Even though the films are not doing well, they make these shameless tweets that, oh, good luck on this success of your film. And then they will, the other party will say the same, will tweet or put an Instagram post about it. It's
See,
a
I mean,
kind of a
see
illusion they are creating.
yeah, the hypocrisy of Akshay Kumar when he said that it took him 15 years to research the role for Prithviraj. Okay, did it take him 15 years to wear an artificial mustache? Did it take him 15 years to shoot the film, using a green background, not going to the real areas in Rajasthan, or shooting in the proper locales of Udaipur and other areas where King Prithviraj was? So 15 years you took just to use a green curtain. And it took you only so much time to find a girl who can't act for nuts, a girl who's like your grandchild. I mean, what sort of nonsense? I mean, what is this? And not even once have they shown the bad qualities of Gori, you know, and the Mughal emperor and his people. Why? Because you're scared of Urdu wood. What will they do to you? So you only show the king's good side. But what about the enemy? Obviously, the enemy has done something wrong. See, King Prithviraj defeated Gauri 17 times. 17 times he forgave him. The 18th time, Prithviraj was caught and he was beheaded. That is the difference between a Hindu king and a Muslim king. You are seeing it today also in the case of Nupur. A man in Kashmir showed, a beheading of a dummy as Nupur, and then he apologizes. Is that okay?
Absolutely not. And if that is the case, then I think Nupur Sharma should not be lambasted for the thing she said, because she has
Yeah,
said the truth, right? She has said the truth, and this is, and it really pains me that even in this day and age, uh, we are living in a world where this fact is accepted,
yeah,
and it is the most it is the most dominant religion all over the world. And I would like to see, I have many Muslim friends, okay. My question to the Muslim community is, what is their say on this fact
yeah,
that was stated? What is their say? Do they support it? And it has always been the case. It has always been the case. Many people say that no, there are moderate Muslims, liberal Muslims, and then there are Orthodox Muslims, right? And there might be some of these shades in Hindu way of life too. There are some staunch Hindu, and then there are, like, some liberal Hindus. But my question to these moderate Muslims and liberal Muslims is that what is their stand on it? When you say that you don't support them, do you support that fact? I'm curious to know. It's not a pot shot. I just want to know what is it, like, maybe somebody who is watching it might want to comment on your video. I will go later on to check. But it really pains me that you cannot, like, when it's about your religion, it is just uh, you have to be liberal, be more accepting. And when it is about my religion, when there is a fact about my religion, then no, 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 you shouldn't be saying that, right? So I think they need to come out of this mindset needs to change.
Absolutely. Now, friends, as we are approaching the second death anniversary, the brutal killing of SSR Disha, we are planning to celebrate that day with more placards and talk about getting justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. So please join in on that day. We'll tell you if what we're planning, and if you would like to join us, please do. And also here, Saffron, what I wanted to tell you is that, see, I know, I'm sure you, because you were not here last week, uh, I'm sure you would have read about Disha's, death anniversary. The same night, Ekta was dressing up in black to celebrate her birthday. And it was party galore. It was a pre party and a
Taking
big
place.
party. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a big party. And how come pictures of this event was going viral? What happened 2 years back? Where did the pictures go, Ekta Kapoor? Because you love to see yourself in full, what you call multi-dimensional pictures, with everything showing, whatever cleavages that you wanted to show, all in full swing. So, what happened to those pictures? Why were people instructed not to show any pictures on the night that Disha died? What happened to Disha that night that she was killed? And who were the people who gang raped and killed her? Allegedly gang raped, because it's still to be proven. So gang raped her and killed her. Who were the people who said that she had committed suicide when that was all, sort of bullshit, you know? So as we come towards SSR's death, all these things come as deadly reminders of what these people are doing. They are still celebrating after all these, treacherous acts. So can they, like Macbeth, forget Macbeth's wife, forget everything? Because every time she used to wash her hands, she would say, she could see blood in her hands. Can these people see something when they watch themselves in the mirror?
I doubt so, because they have been born in an environment and raised in an environment, a very satanic environment, I would say, where uh, their parents or maybe the people they meet in daily lives, being evil is the norm. Being unaffected by all these things is the norm. And that's the way they know that the Indian masses are very gullible. You just have to brainwash them. They are going through some of the very basic they are going through a lot of difficulties to get some of the very basic amenities that any human being on this planet deserve. So you just portray a nice picture in front of them on the camera, and be the evil in real life that you are. So I don't think anything it makes any difference to these people from the cabal. That being said, what pains me is that uh, the family of Disha Salian, the way they have been conducting themselves right from day one, after, like, this thing came into news, and now they are saying that no, please leave us alone, we are being harassed, we are being harassed. How can someone be harassed when they are asking the justice for their daughter? I just don't understand. How can someone feel harassed? They should be nothing but ashamed of themselves, extremely ashamed of themselves, that they are not fighting for the justice of their own daughter. And let it be, I can understand if they are under pressure, but they are discouraging others. Strangers who are fighting for the justice of their daughter. I mean, on one hand, you had people like Rabia ji, who did not have any support when she lost her daughter, except for some few, like, news in the media where her daughter was, uh, like, blamed for for committing the suicide. Wherein actually we all know the reality. What is the reality? So, what pains me is that the family, the people who are close to the victims, one family like SSR family, okay, the less said the better. I think the father has been kept away from all these things. Poor guy has no idea. And the sisters, wow, I don't even know where to begin. uh, they have a police officer in their family who is such an influential guy, but he couldn't do anything to ensure that there is a proper investigation. He couldn't pull any strings. People give life, people take life or give life for their loved ones in family. That's what they teach you, right? You kill and die for your family. And here is a family I see that, like, who went into a shell for a year and a half and then was persuaded by crocodile and smuggler because it suited their agenda, and then she started speaking, and now she has sidelined the crocodile and the smuggler, which is good. I think one of the good things she did. But yeah, but that being said, yeah, we call spade a spade. When you do something good, we'll talk about the good. But when you are
Yeah.
doing something that is against uh, the justice, I mean, like, okay, right now you're just running the taglines. Okay, if that's the way you believe in, that's fine. But we all
Yeah.
know that what is this business about? Morning and evening taglines. I don't think it gets you anywhere close to getting justice.
In
Uh,
fact, there's a bigger picture that's opened up since 2 years, since the time that SSR has died. See,
mhm.
SSR is a simple soul. He was doing whatever he liked, which his passion was acting, which he did very well. And he did not make friends with the cabal. So these were the two things that he did. And in the process, what happened was when he was brutally murdered, unknowingly, he cursed the very industry that he was passionate about and ensured that each and every person who had played with his life would suffer. So you're talking about everybody from Dino Moria, who was completely caught because of his money laundering. All his properties were checked. Okay. Then you have Akshay Kumar. None of his films have succeeded. Each one has become a bigger flop than the other. Okay. Then you have Penguin, who doesn't know what he's doing, jumping from one post to the other, and he can't even open his mouth properly. He doesn't know what to say. So now he's going to go to Varanasi on the very night that SSR was killed, hoping to draw attention away from SSR. Okay. So all these people have been cursed in such a manner. Ria does not get one good film. And even the fact that she wanted to go to Abu Dhabi because Salman Khan had invited her to give an award to someone. Can you imagine? Accused number one in one of the high celebrity cases is called to give an award. Can you imagine which country would do that? It's a shame. That awards are given by good people to good people. Here, awards are given by ex jail criminals. She was an ex jail convict, okay, and she was also drugging SSR. So, was she the right person to give an award to anybody? Okay, if she was going to give an award to Akshay Kumar, fine. You know, each one is the same.
Which
So,
ties back to my point, right?
yeah,
This is how
yeah,
the cabal operates, like, mutual back patting, mutual back fondling. That I give you award, you give me award
yeah.
behind closed doors. I give you award in front of people, you give me award behind closed doors, in whichever way, be it like, satiating their carnal desires or giving money, giving contract killings, uh, issuing, like, sending them to Pakistan to warm beds of these criminals and whatnot. Like, I mean, like, the list is endless. The list is endless. And sadly, not only these people, but there are people from media industry, journalists, some corrupt journalists and politicians who are part of this muck. and thereby making it only filthier than it has ever been. So all these things have been
Also,
happening.
also don't forget the fact. Then when Aryan Khan was caught, how many lawyers did it take Shah Rukh Khan to make him get bail? At least a battery of 19 lawyers. We're talking about three top lawyers and all these junior little kids. Okay? And all were given a big party when he got a bail. Now, each lawyer is known for the quality of letting go criminals, whether it was Salman Khan. Okay? In every case, Satish Manishinde has been standing with people who have broken the law. You're talking about Riya Chakravarti. You're talking about her brother. You're talking about now Jhanvi Kukreja's, the person who is supposed to have killed her. He's standing for that man. So you
There
know
you
these
go.
people,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And these are the people who are saying that Samir Wankade should get it. Well, the public is not going to allow you to get your way. Public will stand in the way. That is 100%. Look at the way of movies are flopping. Look at the way Bollywood has become nothing. you know. So it is a curse from SSR, who, unknowingly, because he's a very good soul, he wouldn't have done it willingly, but unknowingly, he has decided that not only this, the complete, what do you say, dry cleaning of Bollywood is happening. Each and every corner, even see, after all this, Saffron,
Hmm.
killing of KK, see how bold they have gone. KK was a young man. He didn't deserve to die. But then again, he was an outsider. And he had marks on his lips, his forehead, and they took him to the hotel, despite knowing that he was not feeling well. They did not take him to the hospital, they took him to the hotel. The hospital was just next door to the auditorium. So there was something very
You smell
fishy
something
there.
fishy there? You smell
Yes,
something fishy there?
yes, yes. And many things, see, they say it was a college hall, but it was actually by the Trinamool party, where only 5,000 people were supposed to be there. They gave tickets for 10,000. AC was not working. This guy was suffocated and he was not feeling well. They didn't even give him a wheelchair. They made him walk all the way to the hotel. What sort of people are they? Are they animals? I mean, this KK's wife should sue all of them. It's terrible. And then you have all these PR and these celebrities saying, "Oh, we loved his music. They were romantic songs that I listened to when I was in love with my husband or with my partner or with my boyfriend." Who wants to listen to you? What memories you have of KK? Give justice to KK first. Sue those people. Sue
People,
the auditorium. Sue the
people
host.
also, people also want to make the remembrance about them and their involvement rather than fighting for the one who has been departed. And sadly, that is the thing that we are seeing.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yes.
have tremendous respect for the people who watch your show and other shows and who have been fighting for SSR in some or the other way. I know of so many people, like even I'm sure in the comments there are people whose family members don't support them fighting for SSR or for all the other departed souls who have been brutally murdered or compromised. And it's great to see that we have this community which has been growing, not at the pace that we would have wanted to, because we are all getting frustrated, and some people trickle out because they see that, like, nothing is happening, is desh ka kuch nahi ho sakta. But despite the situation, we have a good number of audience that is willing to at least make their voice counted, be in whichever way possible. So that
Saffron,
is, yeah.
in Kerala, there was a case where a case that was running through all the media, where a man actually abused his wife. Very beautiful lady, a nice lady, and she was harassed every day till he killed her.
Oh
You
God.
know, and then what happened was everybody said that, see, it was a suicide, but finally the case was solved, and this man is now in jail. If a case can be solved in such a short period, you mean to say CBI can't solve the case of SSR? They have with them now Vaze. Okay, put his feet, hang him upside down, give him a few beatings, everything will pop out, and he'll say
So,
everything's in Miti River. You know, take it out.
yes, Vaze, like the list for Vaze is a very long one. I think even if you ignore SSR case and Vaze's involvement in Disha Salian's case, I think what about Mansukh Hiren's case,
Mm.
right? You are like puffing handkerchiefs in a
Yeah,
man's mouth,
yeah.
tying his hands and drowning him in river,
Mm,
and you think that you're going to get away with it.
mm.
You being lapdog of the Maha Vasuli Agadi government, you plant those gelatin sticks near Antilia, and you think that you're going to get away with it. So these are the things. I mean, like, I'm waiting for justice to happen. As much as I criticize the cabal, I am also having a very objective approach, or rather harshly objective approach on our agencies, because what is the use of the system if it is not going to deliver the justice, right? So I think they are as much accountable for flexing of muscle flexing of these cabal as much as the cabal itself.
Yeah,
Because if you have proper controls, proper procedures, and a proper system, and people like Samir Wankhede in place, then you see results. You see how when
yeah,
Samir Wankhede was taking charge of the thing, how he
yeah,
was delivering results by the week, if not by the day, and you were seeing a lot of it. You were seeing how ministers and actors and their sons were, like, wetting their pants, knowing that, like, there was this lion who was, like, taking all these animals alone in the jungle. So we need people
See, in
like
fact,
him.
yeah, in fact, Saffron, somewhere I feel that Salman Khan is now getting scared because if you see him at the IFA Awards, he looks as though he's haunted. His eyes looks as though he's drunk too much. There's something very, very strange about him. He doesn't smile, and he bullies everybody who he meets. There was this compere in the IFA award whom he snubbed, and he said, we don't want to hear you, you know we don't want to listen to you. And that guy is a decent middle-aged man. After that, he snubs others also on stage. What does he think he is? Just because he stands with Uddhav Thackeray and his family on stage, is he trying to say that he rules Maharashtra? That
I
nobody can
think
touch him?
insecurity of Mr. Dabang is not a very new thing. He has been always insecure, even since he got incepted in this show business. Like, he used to be earlier insecure about other actors and their movies doing well. There are countless careers he has destroyed in the film industry. Uh, not only of people who were from outside, just like Sushant Singh Rajput, but other people also who were part of the Bollywood cabal and children of some famous actors. Uh, some of the very, very famous actors. I know a friend who works in the Bollywood industry, and he has told me that he's a pure sinister, and, like, people are literally scared of him because of his close tie to Karachi and Dubai. So I think, yes, we do have people who are, like, uh, who have reached a level. But I think, like, it again goes back to what we were discussing earlier. The more we call them out, the more you see. And you were right on the money when you said that even in these award functions, they look tired, they look a little scared. uh, Once, like, he had posted some RIP message for Sushant after his murder, you will be missed, or something along those lines, and he got bashed so heavily on Twitter that he had to tweet again, saying that, oh, let it be, people, don't say anything to these fans, I understand their emotion and all these things. So you get the drift that they get scared. They have, why are there PR agencies then if they are not scared of it? Why are there PR agencies? Why did Canadian Kumar had to make a video and say that, oh yes, there are some bad people in Bollywood, there is a drug problem, but not everyone is that. You can't paint the entire town with the same paint. So no, we are going to do that because the entire town is effing red. So we are going to call you out. There is no escape from this now. You be it Suryavansham, be it Lakshmi Bomb, be it any film, now it is going to be called, or even a nationalistic film. We are going to call it out because enough is enough. You have not fallen in line, and it's about time to teach you a lesson. And I think that, in some or the other way, I'm happy. Although I'm like sad for what Nupur Prasad is going through, I'm happy that it
Nupur
is.
Sharma.
No, yeah, Nupur Sharma, sorry.
Yeah,
With
Nupur
this
Prasad
is happening
CBI.
on my case, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
Nupur Prasad, yeah.
yeah.
So with what's happening to Nupur Sharma, because although her life is at risk right now, but the fringe elements, their silence, and all these mullahs in madrasas, they are exposing themselves. And I now is the litmus test for anybody, regardless of whatever religion they are, to take a stand. That is this the idea of Bharat? What is the idea of Bharat? Is mocking Hindu gods the idea of Bharat? Where does the line of intolerance and blasphemy, where is the, like, how do you define it, right? So that is a interesting thing. And also,
In
like,
fact,
I don't,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
In fact, another interesting thing is in this IFA awards, who are the people who are taken? Only the people who are mice like, in front of Salman. All the people who say yes, yes, by Jan, by Jan, by Jan. Everybody else was eliminated. Anybody who gives him nicely, wouldn't be taken.
Yeah, there is no point of even, like, watching these awards nowadays, because it is all like, I mean, can you imagine, like, and I would not only say like the Bollywood, but also in the West, because they don't do their research. It seems like, they always come to these people, be, be it Kejo or Salman Khan or whosoever. But can you imagine that, like, a singer like Lata Mangeshkar, she is not portrayed in the Oscar obituaries?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, how can you do that? Like,
yeah. But Ekta Kapoor got the Padma Shri.
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Ekta Kapoor got the Padma Shri, and
For what? I don't know. I think it's for Gandhi Baat.
oh, okay, yeah. Well, then she deserves it. It was for Gandhi
Yeah,
Baat. Then yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
then
Because
Rajkundra should also get.
yeah, Rajkundra should also get. And like the other day, like, my brother was like kind of joking that he was saying that if my daughter even does not study, then it's okay, because she might become an HRD or education minister, like, someday in India. So this is the way, like, like, even if you are in some other business, uh, if you are lucky and if you have close connection with the cabal, you can make your way up. And that is like something which is a bigger problem. And how do these people get emboldened? Due to sluggish bureaucracy, due to an infected system which needs to be uh, cleaned up. I think some scammer has
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Removed it.
needs to be
Yeah,
taken care of, yeah. So these things need to be, like, yeah, like when we see a pest, we need to kill it, just like we did it right now.
yeah, yeah.
That's what
It-
needs to be that's what needs to happen on a
That's
larger
what that's what Yogi Adityanath did today. After
exactly.
all this protest, he came with a bulldozer, you know, and got rid of everything, all these
Absolutely.
creeps.
And that's why I am happy that these people are exposing themselves, so that in near future, in the elections, it will be someone like Yogi ji who will be standing there with a danda,
Hmm,
और लातों के भूत जो है वो बातों
hmm,
से नहीं मानते.
absolutely.
So yeah, you have
So,
to like sometimes, you have to like sometimes, twist your
Yes.
finger to pick out the ghee.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So I'm requesting all friends, also Saffron, please join us on 14th, and let us make this a show of strength, mainly to the powers who are trying to stop giving justice to Sushant. So please do join us in large amounts, and not only make sure what you say, is hard hitting, because we do not want people, especially the federal agencies, to think that we've ever, forgotten what happened. We will not forget till we get justice for Sushant, Disha, Jia, Janvi, all these people who died.
absolutely, ma'am. And do let us know if there is any specific
Yeah,
placard or that we
absolutely.
need to join with.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will. It is going to be during the week, right?
Yes,
So I'll
yeah,
try my level best because the times don't like it's
yeah,
my
yeah.
work time. If I can, I will definitely join
Okay,
just like for a minute or two. I will try
yeah,
to sneak in. But
okay.
thank you, ma'am, for whatever you've been doing for SSR and for all these souls
We
who
are
are
all
like.
together in this. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
We are together, and you have my support and the support of the viewers. Let's win
yeah,
this battle together.
yeah, yeah. So good night.
Good night.